hope you're happy. You completely destroyed all of my pride. You told me to get a tattoo saying I'm a liar, like a tramp stamp. You told me to shave my head. You told me to dye my hair green, shave off my eyebrows, and get an ugly tan. Like, is that not abusive to you? Do you think that's a fair trade for me telling you that I smoked weed? Like, that's what you think is okay? I betrayed your trust.
I don't feel bad for the fact that I smoked weed, but it is scary when I have asked you and I told you that you are making me feel uncomfortable and safe, and I've asked you to stop and leave me alone, and you continue to use my name and my information in your videos. This is my final cease and desist. Do not continue to use my name or my information. Please stop posting about me on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your YouTube, whatever. You can, like, just leave me alone. If you do it again, you will not hear anything from me. I will be contacting the police because it's scary, and I'm not okay with it.
We broke up.
Look at me.
We broke up.
Look at me. I don't give a shit whether we broke up or not. I do not give a shit. What you have done to me is irreversible. You have destroyed any way for me to support myself. I have nothing. You have destroyed me. He has a camera on me. He has a camera on me right now. Get the camera off of me. Why do you have a camera on me?
Okay, thank you.
Get the camera off of me.
Okay, thank you.
And she's tall, she's skinny. I'm not into super skinny girls.
I can't think of anyone who has been more negative about the way that I look online more than Onision.
And if you're with somebody who reinforces you, who makes you feel good, or at least watch my channel.
Yeah, watching your channel's always made me feel great about myself. So in this clip, he's saying if you're with someone romantically and still have insecurities about your body, that person is then a failure because their acceptance alone should be enough to make you feel awesome.
I don't get why you guys can't just be happy with yourselves. And what that tells me is that you had a dad or a mom who didn't love you enough.
So now he's saying that if you do decide to go through with one of these unnecessary surgeries, or if you're unhappy with your body in some way, shape, or form, that it's because your family doesn't love you.
Cope with a verbally and emotionally abusive mother. I'm 17, I've been hospitalized twice because of suicidal thoughts, depression caused by the words my mother would say to me. First of all, I don't think you can really blame your suicidal thoughts / depression on anyone but yourself, because
via Twitter, like something like, stop complaining, you're a millionaire. Like, I think I said that to him because he's so rich, you know, like he should be, you know, like donating to charity and just like starting a charity.
When other people are going through it, and it's such an ugly behavior that I can't even sympathize with the person going through it. And a lot of times I criticize through videos when these sort of things happen. We don't need to get into any names, okay? When I first received my first bit of
Who's Edgar? God, I don't understand this man. Okay, so you're trying to say that you don't have an ego, right? Or at least you're battling with your ego, right? You're trying to say, like, you know, I don't try to drop names or anything like that. And then you drop a name, and it's like, obviously you're not trying. That's obvious.
Oh, he dressed like a German soldier because it's comedy. Next.
Then what the fuck are you doing watching my goddamn channel? You motherfucking piece of shit!
Hey, I read everything you wrote, and I made a response video for people to go check out what you wrote. 90% of what you said was totally true. And, I don't know, regardless of whatever you do with your future, like, quite frankly, my life is really messed up right now, so it's, like, selfish for me to ask you to be a part of that regardless. Whatever you do from here, it's like, whatever. I admit, like, all the guilt and everything, that I jumped into something that I didn't fully understand. And you were there with me, and you took the steps with me, but the reality is I led the way into the darkness or whatever. So, I'm so incredibly sorry for everything. Like, I'm being so cliche. And, yeah, I understand. Like, whatever you do, I understand. The first step to improving yourself is realizing that you are the problem. Anyway, yeah. So I think I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm sorry. Bye. I wish you would have some urge to say the same. But I'm left in the cold darkness, completely alone. Goodbye. Just so you know, because of what you've done, because of the way you've slandered me, because of the lies you've told, because of the fact that you've completely ignored me and you've completely humiliated me publicly, and despite the fact that I was being kind about everything and saying, okay, fine, I'm not going to attack someone I love, and I'm not going to fight back even though she's clearly attacking me, and I was hoping that you would actually answer your phone and deal with me like a human being. Because of all of this, I'm going to reveal every single detail. Every detail. And then everyone will know exactly who you are. You want to slander me, well, I'm going to fight you with the truth. And the truth is not going to feel good. Goodbye.
I don't like doing that. I don't like relating with children. This is how I feel about children, okay? I hate how stupid most teenage girls are. I hate them so much. Hate them with a passion. They are like cancer to me. They are toxic. I despise them. Or just like, okay, well, you dated a 17-year-old, Onision. This is why this is just nuts. First of all, you guys can't tell the difference between a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, okay? Dating a 17-year-old and then being in a marriage later on with them for 6 years, that's not a predatory thing. That's a victory. That's a win.
I will say that you look
life.
like my ex-wife. Secondly, I'd rate you a 5 out of 10. Meanwhile, this girl's like 8 out of 10. Yeah, solid 8.
But Greg, what if she's 15 years old?
Well, last time I checked, we're allowed to have opinions about people. It's not a perverted thing. It's honesty. Okay.
This chick became more attractive because of what she said right above her image. Either way, I'm not as attractive as Jensen Ackles, so what's the point? I completely agree. But we'll rate you anyway, and your rating is 7. The Jensen Ackles thing is just awesome. I've learned over time it's very critical that I actually tilt my head when they upload sideways photos because people can look totally different. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you are a 7.9 out of 10. Pretty good. Dig this chick's sense of humor. The vertical dead face. But despite making that face, she's very clearly at least an 8 out of 10. And that works out because she thinks she's an 8.5. Sounds about right. This girl's cute. The boys her age are no doubt very lucky. Or girls. Or non-binary people. What? You know what? Whatever. Although she does look totally different here. Check them out side by side. Isn't that weird? This girl looks pretty angelic. Like a 9 out of 10 as far as human beings go. She said she was scared of it. She really hates her nose. I literally didn't even notice your nose. I'm glad I looked at your picture first. But your nose is fine. Anyway, this person says I'm 14 and 5'5". I don't know why that was important. And here they are. And when you have braces, probably not a full tooth grin.
This girl looks like she's about 19 or 20. Turns out she's actually 17. In California, that means some people might be going to Pound Town for, you know, yeah.
Only 13. She has an iPad and her and I share. She also has a smartphone and she's allowed to use. I can go through it if I want to, but I feel like privacy is an important thing. Her pictures get uploaded from her phone to her iPad. I looked through them and found many photos of her in her underwear. She had a word I've never seen written on her stomach. It was Onision. I immediately asked her about it. She told me that it's a YouTuber that promotes body positivity and posts videos of girls' bodies that they submit to him on his forums. I looked through these forums and found a thread upon thread of girls my daughter's age posting nearly naked photos of themselves to be validated by this man. I was livid. It really looks like he's just trying to scantily clad pics of young girls. I looked into him more and apparently has a penchant for young girls. His wife was only 17 when he met her. Beware of what your kids are doing online.
Ass motherfucker, fucking pieces of shit, worthless human beings, dumb cunt, brain dead bitch, dumb bitch, idiot fuck stain, dumb cunts, dumb bimbo, dumb fucking lying cunts, bitch, fuckface, dumb fucking useless bitch before running your dumb cunt mouth. You keyboard warrior piece of shit, you dumb fuck, and this brain dead fuck. Useless fucking dumb piece of shit cunt, shit stain, dishonest cunt, fuckface. Let's continue, you fuck. Have Shane Dawson sit next to me and take a lie detector test as well. I'd love to see that bitch sweat. Because I personally know that Shane is a creep. I know he's a creep. On a core level, I know he's a creep. I've seen his history of how he acts with children, how close he gets to children all the time, how uncomfortable it is consistently. Like, I don't know how other people don't see it, but they're teenage girls, so of course they think it's fine. This guy loves relating with teenage girls.
You have to be enraged by Shane because that man targeted babies and young children. This woman is immediately almost trying to protect Shane. She's like trying to shut down his comments to get him not to express his true self, which he is clearly doing. But about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to Lainey. You could talk to Lainey yourself and confirm this. But I was saying, you know, I think, I don't know what it is, but Shane has always had a weird relationship with children in the past. I've always been a little, there's nothing that sticks out, but it's just like a feeling. I want to talk about when I'm talking about targeting people. It says, PewDiePie shocks the world with controversial tweets, and this right here is when I completely lost faith in PewDiePie. And I'm not trying to say, you know, PewDiePie's a terrible guy or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that even if you're joking, this sounds real. It's one thing to like just say, you know, some people are creeps and blah blah blah, but another to say, you know, that everyone has their tricks to access that stuff, because not everyone does that. I know people want to think that everyone does that, but they don't.
Jokes for kids and inappropriate.
Did he say sexual jokes for? You mean you told jokes in front of an audience that involved, you didn't like do actual perverted jokes towards, you're talking about that tweet, aren't you? Okay, yeah, okay, it must be like, he's like, where he says everyone has their tricks to see 12-year-old, yeah. See, I feel like if you don't ever do that, you're never gonna say that even as a joke. You know? There's some things I don't joke about. You know, there's some things that I like, you know, I'll joke about, you know, like, oh, we were all violated as a child or something like that by our parents or whatever. But I won't say, oh, yeah, you know, I can't even say it. I can't even use this example. Like, I can't put myself in that situation because it's so awkward for me, like, even as a joke. Because I guess it's, I don't know, it might have something to do with my childhood and how, like, it kind of ruined my childhood. I wasn't ever a victim of that stuff. Just want to make that clear. But I knew people who were. And seeing them suffer really messed me up to the point where, like, telling jokes like that, where, like, you're pretending to be a predator, like that. I mean, it's one thing if it's like a sketch where you're a character, but when you say it as yourself, what does disturb me to this day about PewDiePie is how he could say that about a 12-year-old and how he could say that everyone has their tricks, even as a joke. Because what would compel a person to make that joke? Like, I would just like to know what was going through his mind, because that's something I would expect. And I want to establish something I established before. It's very important. The people who prey, the people who target these kids, they are people who are liked by the community, typically. Michael Jackson was loved by the community. Absolutely loved. Okay? And you got Jared from Subway, who was very, very much so liked by the community. Subway loved him. They kept using him again and again because he had a positive audience response, you know. And you know, there's other examples like my own dad, absolutely loved by the community. But these are all people who have a history of you know, being repeatedly accused of being involved with people in their immediate lives. You know, people who are still in their lives, who have gone to therapists and who have gone to the police and who have done everything legitimate to prove that they've done what they've done. Okay, so like when I look at a person that people like PewDiePie, and I see him tweeting something like that, I'm not saying he is this, but what I am saying is that's really disturbing to me.
Like, there's this thing out there where people are like, oh, you tried to kiss your sister-in-law. Literally never happened. What happened was, my sister-in-law tried to kiss me.